All right, folks, are we turning up on a Tuesday or what? Let's get right on into this session, guys. It's going to be a massive one. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. What's up? What's up? Tony, Darren, how's everybody doing today? Shane, God bless you. Let's get right on into it, folks, and let's start out by looking at something that's absolutely beautiful to see. This is our XRP price chart, up to nearly 60 cents. Nearly 60 cents, getting exciting here. And we're back down to 582 right now as we're recording this session here, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. Eastern. This is one of our new time slots for our live shows on a weekly basis now. So if you haven't gotten the alert, if you haven't set the notifications, you better get it done. You know what to do. You know where to find us. Tuesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's rock and roll. And I got to tell you right now, we got some big hitters coming through on the show. Some big hitters coming through. Just like Rick Rule. Big hitters coming through, absolutely legendary investors, industry experts. It's going to be happening here on this channel. And I just want to say thank you for all the love and support, guys. Let's get it going. This is fantastic to see the price action. Of course, what have we been talking about, though? The fundamentals take us way past 60 cents. Of course, it's great to see some green candles on the chart and to be higher than 50 cents, right? I know we're getting tired of this 50-cent region. I know we're getting tired of the sub $1 region. I know some people are anxious to see this thing shoot up to $5, $10 and beyond. I know, as we highlighted this morning, that some crazies define XRP as a world reserve bridge currency. And we're not the only ones. As you're now seeing, as I titled this episode, XRP and ETHgate going viral. See, we got to bring this full circle, why this documentary is about to be so powerful. Not just because I get a little appearance. Okay, I was asked to be in the interview. I'm excited for the opportunity. But even bigger than that, as I said, I humbly stand behind John Deaton and our other leaders, our other generals at the front of the legal battlefield. Obviously, we have to understand the tech. Shout out to the builders in the community. And as a community, as a whole, we are directly over the target. We are applying pressure when it comes to justice and liberty for all, when it comes to a level playing field, and also when it comes to utilizing DLT technology to change the world. Let's actually introduce the world to this neutral bridge currency. Very simple. If you don't want to hold it as a reserve, you don't have to. I'm going to be. And I'm going to hold a lot of it. And I'd like some more actually too, but I'm sitting for right now, like Warren the Buffett. I'm going to straight cash right now for most of my allocation while I'm getting ready to snipe deals as they come across our desk. And I'll tell you right now, there's more opportunity than you can even get to. This is why we keep hitting it every single day. But like I said, we got a massive session lined up for you tonight. Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern is our new slot for Tuesday, Thursdays, and then Saturdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Now, of course, we have our Discord weekly calls every single Saturday morning at 8:30, 11:30 Eastern. So 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. Okay. And then tomorrow, we got a big interview coming in. And so expect for that one to be dropping tomorrow evening. All goes well, and I'm able to get it flipped up and edited and sent back. We're going to get it going tomorrow night for a massive session. So I appreciate everyone for stopping by. We got a lot to cover, and it's mostly crypto. A few data points, current events. We'll talk about that. But then we'll get right on into the cryptocurrency update, guys, because it's a big one here today. Just like the big green candles that we're seeing on the charts. God bless all of you for coming in here tonight. So much love in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Now, as you're seeing right here, Bitcoin just went up to about 57.5. Okay, a lot of excitement here in the cryptocurrency space. 57.5 cools back off here right now at the time of this recording. 3,200 for ETH. We went up to almost a 60-cent XRP. We did achieve the 589. A lot of people, it's so funny watching the XRP community, waiting for that chart to hit 589 so we can all take a screenshot, post a riddle, post a meme, and have ourselves a good time. It's definitely, better than seeing it at 50 cents or sub 50. Although Gonna be honest with you, I'd probably take advantage of that buying opportunity if we went below 50 cents again. 12 cents for our XLM folks. You see that we have started to roll back over. And what was interesting about today in the markets is cryptocurrency just ripped, while the traditional equities and stock market actually rolled over for the most part, other than that stock, that Palo Alto that Pelosi's been pumping. That one's up over 12% or something like that. But the rest of the equities and stock market actually starting to roll over. And there's a little bit of concern coming in right now on the current events front. But before we get there, we got weather events happening too that are pretty crazy. Everything just trying to escape the fires in Wheeler, Texas. What we're looking at here is a video coming out of the heartland, Wheeler, Texas. Praying for all the people out there that they're able to get out. We have a couple towns that were actually, surrounded by this wildfire, right? So crazy weather events, crazy things happening right now in the markets. And you know that the folks are starting to see it when you get a consumer confidence data point reading like this one that came out today. Consumer confidence falls for the first time in 4 months as anxiety about politics rises. Now, as they say right here, Americans worry about the labor market and the US presidential election. Now, what does it come back to? It's the economy, stupid, right? As we've been saying, they're going to do whatever they can to paper this thing over, make everybody feel warm and fuzzy outside while we all are supposed to be eating our ice cream, even though we can't afford ice cream. You know, I'd love to have some ice cream, celebrate with Biden how great this country is. Nobody can afford ice cream anymore, you know? We're seeing the inflation is not going away. The markets are finally starting to realize that if they have a clue and if they know how to read into the details of these data points, right? And what you're seeing right here, though, is even the consumer starting to understand, wow, this inflation's not going away. Yeah, the market's going up, but am I going to have my job? Because my company might lay me off, and what's going to happen is the stock's going to pump. The shareholders are going to buy more. They're going to do more buybacks. And this is all part of the transfer of wealth that's been underway. Like I said, we have to be tapped in right now on every single level, all of the financial markets and every single asset class that we want to invest in. Why we're going to be giving you guys another real estate update here soon is because if you want a roof over your head, we got to be in the game. Check this one out here from Bloomberg. Leaders hopeful Congress will avoid shutdown after Biden meeting. Zoom in on it. Democrats and the GOP remain far apart on Ukraine and immigration, but lawmakers face March 1st deadline to avoid partial shutdown. Let me know in the comments down below if you think that they should maybe take a break, take a consideration. Maybe we got to think twice before we just keep kicking the can down the road. And we got confidence out of Chucky Boy Schumer. We got confidence out of both sides of the aisle. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Chuck Schumer both making their appearance. But, right here, billions of dollars for Ukraine, Israel, and the US-Mexico border, with Schumer describing the discussion as one of the most intense I've ever encountered. Well, I'll tell you what's actually starting to slip out right now is that a lot of the politicians, if they're being honest with themselves, this doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. Both sides of the aisle are really frustrated. and I'm stating the obvious, right? Because we're all fed up. And they're starting to realize that they don't want Biden. They don't want this program. They don't want billions there. They just want opportunity for ourselves back home and safety. We just want a level playing field and safety, please. It's a crazy idea. Just, some rules of the road for everyone to follow. Law and order. The U.S. rule of law has upheld very strong against the attack on our rights, our individual liberties, and the regulatory capture that we've highlighted in ETHgate. Right? We have judges that are standing up in a massive way. We have companies like Ripple shelling out $200 million to battle our own government. This is the real deal. And once again, the average person starting to see here, this show continues to go on. So they'll play politics. And what I just get sick and tired of is these sellouts, these softies. They come in, they talk tough. Oh, we're going to do a little deal. We're going to fight for you guys. And then we got billions going here, billions going there. And I just want to be heard and to say, hey, we don't have billions to send anywhere. You guys just keep running up trillions on that deficit. We know we have over 120 trillion unfunded liabilities. My children shouldn't be having to play with this program. In fact, I'd like to opt out of Social Security too, because that's the biggest Ponzi scheme probably in the world. Can we just opt out? You know? And I did see that Ron Paul is actually being interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and I'm really excited to watch that one because I respect Tucker, and then Ron Paul is like my political hero. He really was a large part of waking me up back in 2012. Well, 2008 was when he first ran, and then in 2012 again. He was a large part of me waking up, and then I started to understand what the Federal Reserve was. And after that, then I realized how rigged the game was. I didn't come to find the solution, which in my opinion is a combination of distributed ledger technology with the traditional commodities that can actually back a new system. You know, I didn't come around to discover that until I came to Bitcoin and then XRP, and then when I finally started to invest in gold and silver. Well, I guess I don't really have any gold, just my silver, right? But I started to learn about this over a decade ago. Now we're starting to see it all play out. And here we are. I never thought that it would blow up this big. I never thought that we would be here, right? But here we are. This is what we're up against. And like I said, I'm not here to play politics. I'm here to say that we're broke. I'm here to say that the program's a failure. On behalf of the children, on behalf of myself, someone who's under 30 years old that would like to opt out, please. I don't need anything from you guys. And we're talking about the government. All I want is the rules of the road for everyone to obey, level playing field, and then thank you, I don't need any handouts. I'm not interested in UBI. I'm not interested in any of your programs, period. I just want to be a functioning member of society that builds wealth for my family and can help my community around me. Thank you, God bless. Get the hell out of my way. That's all we want. And would a shutdown be maybe good? You know, we take a moment here to rein this sucker back in. This is crazy. And what do I expect? Compromise, right? Once again, we get compromise, and what does that do? Remember, this is all inflation. These are all forms of inflation, which is why we've hedged. Check these two new data points right here, folks. This is incredible right here. This is former Board of Advisors for Ripple, Michael Barr, who now sits on top of the Federal Reserve, Vice Chair for Supervision, saying that banks must do more on counterparty risk. The irony is that he just made the case for gold, and I'd argue he just made the case for silver, and he just made the case for XRP, and he just made a case for any other distributed ledger technology that has a limited supply of tokens, and when you can hold it yourself, you have no counterparty risk. The only thing I have to worry about is my daughter likes to play with my silver here, and she might lose, she might lose an ounce or two in the couch. That's the only counterparty risk I got on my precious metals. And you get my point. Michael Barr right here acknowledging that these banks need to do more on counterparty risk. You think? The derivatives exposure can't even be tracked. And what a coincidence. Former Board of Advisors, now he's at the top of the Fed. Top of the Treasury Department, 43rd Treasury of the United States of America, Rosie Rios, goes from Treasury to Ripple, Board of Directors. Board of Directors, Board of Advisors, two separate things. Very important roles. The revolving door at Ripple. And it's just getting better, folks. More on that later in this episode. In June of last year, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but that Germany's Federal Audit Office is what that word is right there. Germany's Federal Audit Office warned that the government might need to recapitalize the central bank. Folks, when we talk about how big these problems are for these banks, and for the central banks included, we're talking about trillions of dollars of unrealized losses and losses in collateral and debt that's coming due. And so this is a huge problem. Recapitalize the central bank of Germany. The warnings are out in the open. This is a movie in real time. Again, it's a tragic comedy. You can take a moment to laugh if you get on the right side of the transfer and if you prepare. That's exactly what we're doing right here. And I'm going to plug it right now. Community resources are at my website, zachrector.com, including gold, silver, rollover 401k retirement account, get it shipped directly to you, join our private exclusive community. It's all there. And a lot more. Link to, we got a link for you if you need private equity. Save $500 towards your first investment when you use our link for link to. Community resources, you know where to find them. Let's rock and roll right on into it, folks. Cryptocurrency update, JP Morgan. We see the higher cryptocurrency prices not only sustaining, but improving. So JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon goes from saying that Bitcoin is dumb, who cares about Bitcoin, is literally what he said, to now they're one of the custodians for the, well, multiple spot ETFs for Bitcoin. So they're willing to make the money that way. And then now, and they've obviously been working on JPM coin, kind of a failure. And then obviously we know that they've invested in Ethereum and Consensus as well. But now they're saying that we're not only sustaining, but improving. This is when the alarm bells go off for me, because you know how these guys operate. These guys are here to sacrifice you and me, the little guys and gals. They are here, their game, their agenda is to sacrifice the middle class of America. What little assets we have left get transferred their way. As what did Jamie Dimon just do? He says, he sends out the memo. Yep, guys, flip the switch. Let's go bullish on crypto. Now that we're custodians of Bitcoin, now that we've set up all of our deals, now that we're perfectly positioned in every single company, and they probably got a piece of Ripple. Well, that hasn't been confirmed, but they probably got a piece of some action coming for XRP, or maybe that's why they had to sue Ripple. Maybe we'll find out. Now, what we see here, though, now they go full bullish. Now they get the laser eyes. But this is when I get worried. This is when I get worried. We need to get some legs underneath this pump. As exciting as it is, right? Everybody's so excited for this bull run and for the action that we saw here recently. But I want to see some legs. I want to see some support. Now, let's keep it rocking and rolling. Now, what we see next is the good guys and gals who want to put up a fight are starting to stand up. And what we're looking at right here is the Chamber of Digital Commerce finally stepping in here on the Kraken case. Our goal to end the SEC's attempt to regulate the digital asset industry without legislative authority. So the Chamber of Digital Commerce hopping in here, amicus curiae brief in the SEC versus Kraken case. So this is what we need, a united front of all of the businesses, entrepreneurs, and free men and women of this country, and even the fight extending out beyond our borders as well, because the damages are done worldwide. But we need to have a united front, because this case ain't over, and this battle's not going to be over even after the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. Speaking of that, we do have an update right here from James Phelan. The SEC has requested a change to the remedies briefings deadlines. They want to extend. Can you guess what they want? Yes, of course they want to extend. They're asking that the SEC's opening brief deadline be extended to March 22nd, 2024, and that Ripple's deadline to file its opposition brief be extended to April 22nd, and that the SEC's deadline to file its reply brief be extended to May 6th, 2024. So that would take us from April 29th out now into May, if approved. And I'm going to assume that it's going to be. I'm going to assume that it's going to be. So here we are. Now we got another week added on. Let's go cry about it, right? I'm not going to cry one bit about this. This thing's coming to an end, guys. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And what have we already done? We've already set the standard for the entire industry. We've already set the standard. XRP in and of itself is not a security. They didn't do an ICO. They didn't do any shady games. Of course, they were selling large amounts of XRP to institutions. Of course, they got a contract. And that's what Judge Torres found to be an investment contract on registered securities offering. It's a very straightforward, cut and dry case at this point. The only thing left to decide is, were the post-complaint sales also investment contracts? That's all that's left to decide. And if they are, then that ups the fine. If they aren't, then it's even less. Ripple cuts a check, or if Ripple wants to appeal, that's obviously an option as well. SEC can appeal as well. What's interesting about this is that both sides have reasons and grounds to appeal. The SEC got a victory on the institutional sales, and Ripple got the victory on programmatic sales and the other distributions, and the XRP community got the win. The XRP in and of itself is not a security. The SEC I mean, the fact that they're trying to extend this out even further tells me that we're nowhere really near a settlement. Or maybe we are. Maybe when it's time to move on to the next chapter, they'll just announce the settlement, close the curtain, and that'll be the end of that show. That chapter in this grand story, this grand conspiracy that we continue to watch on a daily basis, right? But, one just taking this at face value would say, okay, they're extending, they're putting up some sort of fight. Are they going to appeal? I don't think that they will. I don't think that they will, because the case that Judge Torres made is so strong, and she also denied the interlocutory appeal. She put the SEC back in their place. So I don't think that the SEC is going to appeal, but they have no shame, and they have unlimited money, I guess, unless we do get a government shutdown. But, I won't be surprised if they do. But nonetheless, for me, I just focus on the end is in sight. You can only drag these court cases on so long. We already have the major victories, and we can see from the Ripple positioning and marketing that they're getting set to go live in the United States with products and on-demand liquidity potentially, as well as their other utilities and offerings and liquidity hub for U.S. institutional partners. So they're about to flip the switch in the U.S. It looks like one way or the other. We know that obviously they're set to have an IPO. And as we covered this morning, once again, you got this investment manager who went on to Germany's CNBC basically, and he said himself too that they're going to have a massive IPO. I think he might even said the largest. It was either massive or large. Either way, I say that they might have the largest. Like, there's a chance. I'm not going to say 100% certainty, but I'm saying their bag in escrow is worth more than the largest IPO. That's just simple math. Is the private market and gonna be able to value it at that? Are the investment bankers that help them do the IPO offering with the exchanges, are they going to, what price are they going to IPO at? It's going to be exciting to see. Now, I'm seeing a lot of comments. Obviously, people have, we got some haters that are like, oh, why don't you talk about this other case? There's a frivolous lawsuit that was filed against Ripple. It's in Oakland, California. So, that party might get a favorable ruling. We'll see. There's some corrupt judges out there. We know that. So this is going to be an interesting one to file. Ripple failed to, they didn't want it to be classified as a class action lawsuit. And just so you know, it only does take one person to make it a class action lawsuit. You don't need an army of people. And so there's a couple people. There was one guy. This started before the SEC lawsuit was even filed against Ripple. This is a BS case. I would say a lot more on it, but all I have to do is just leave it. It's a BS case filed by some butthurt investor that bought XRP high, and he bought high and he lost money, or I don't know what his story is. But he's trying to say that they offered a security and that he was banking on Ripple and this and that. And that's, in my opinion, if you get some corrupt judge in California to give him a ruling, it's going to get appealed, and Ripple's going to just, there's no way. Ripple has legal assassins that already have precedent in the United States. And the case is, if you read it, it's BS. It's complete BS. So, just because you say that you bought XRP expecting it to go up because you were doing decodes doesn't mean that you have a case. But anybody in the United States, we have a frivolous society, or litigious society, frivolous too, a litigious society that sues everybody for everything. And the dude lost like nothing. I'm pretty sure it was like hundreds of bucks. Wasn't even thousands, I don't believe. But this is what they do. As soon as they get the class action validated, then they blast it out to everybody. So that's why you guys are getting emails. I know some people have already seen them. I've seen some friends, some people on our Discord that are starting to get them. I haven't received one yet that I found. Maybe it's buried in my email somewhere. I'd like to print that thing out and burn it publicly and just let everybody know what I think of that BS, because that's exactly what it is. Shut up. It's so stupid and ridiculous. But nonetheless, that's where we're at as a society, right? Let's continue on though, folks. We got a lot to talk about. Yeah. I'm just reading a couple comments there, guys. How are we doing tonight? Can I get a vibe check in the chat? Can I get a vibe check in the chat? God bless you guys. Yeah, exactly, Peaky. Exactly, 100%. So nonetheless, guys, SEC, they need a little bit more time, extending us out till May. We'll be watching that one closely. This is what we got to focus on, though. The light's at the end of the tunnel, and the fundamentals only continue to get better. Today's price action up to 60 cents. I tell you what, the fundamentals take us far, far past that. And the fundamentals keep on getting better on a daily basis. Check out what I'm talking about right here, folks. 90,000 builders already learning about the XRP ledger on Easy A app with the one and only David Schwartz. And this is from Dom from Easy A. Huge shout out to Dom and Phil. Congrats, Easy A and Ripple X Devs team on this huge milestone. So what they do, they got this app, and it's for developers, builders, coders. And what they do is they have these little challenges. And so this got exposure. I think 90,000 builders basically participated in the XRP Ledger Challenge. So, excuse me, this is, what's going to come of this? Is the next billion-dollar company going to come of this? You never know. But we are starting to show the world that we have utility in DeFi now on the XRP Ledger. This is what moves us into a new reality. It's not just the legal battle, it's not just the legal clarity, but it's this utility in DeFi on an institutional level and also for retail Joe Blow Schmo to play around with. And 90,000 builders getting to play around with. And Easy A, huge shout out to them, their initiative, their platform. They're going around the country. They're going worldwide too, I think. But they're mostly focused in the USA from what I can pick up. And they're going to universities. And they're doing all these challenges with these universities. And this is massive for getting a new wave of builders to the XRP ledger. They do it for all, other cryptocurrencies as well. But this is what I've been saying. Now we can finally let the kids, let the builders, let whoever play with these ledger, the XRP ledger. Now, speaking of playing with this ledger, well, you already know that Ripple has a little plan, and now they've included Axelar Network. This is Marcus Infanger, which is SVP of Ripple X. Our partnership with the foundation here, Axelar Network, extends XRP Ledger's capabilities aimed at enriching the blockchain ecosystem with greater interoperability and connectivity. The integration from Axelar Network aligns with our vision of a seamlessly interconnected blockchain ecosystem. Seamlessly interconnected blockchain ecosystem. Maybe the XRP Ledger doesn't have to have native hook smart contracts. We can have smart contracts. It's the hub and spoke model with spokes interoperability connecting us with all these other blockchains where the smart contracts can live. What do you want to get paid out? And at the end of the day, that's going to be the big question. What are you going to treat as a reserve currency? More on that later. But before we get to talking about the reserve currency, what about ESDRs? What a crazy concept, right? There's no way that the XRP could become an ESDR. The IMF would never give it that respect. The central banks don't hold XRP, man. Well, we do have 1,700 plus contracts cited in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit of distributions of XRP that were made, and one little institution called R3 tried to swoop $5 billion off of Ripple, so maybe they were one of the only ones or few that tried to swoop a few billy off of Ripple, but I would suspect that there was maybe a couple others. In fact, we know there was at least 23 plus 1,700 contracts. So, there's a little bit of interest in XRP, and as we found here in this one, this is SmokedQG on Twitter. Found this little document from hoover.org. A little interesting snippet. XRP is the only cryptocurrency with the features and functionality to properly serve as a special drawing rights, ESDR, stablecoin to facilitate transactions between multi-currency corridors. Right now, it's made up of a basket. You got the euro, you got the pound, the Japanese yen, the dollar, and then we got one more. I'm forgetting it right now, but the Chinese yuan. That's the big one, yeah. And that share of the Chinese yuan as well has actually added significantly. And them adding it to the basket actually was a new move that they recently made. This is a moving thing. See, these international groups, this is a moving target for them. So, a lot of folks, because they don't see it on paper now, right, they can't believe in it. Well, I'm going to show you it on paper, okay? And this is, once again, hoover.org, and it's the Board of Trustees of the Leland Stanford Junior University. This was put out in 2022. Is it possible to envisage even more advantageous arrangements? For instance, a special drawing rights-based stablecoin issued by a multilateral agency reminiscent of John Maynard Keynes' proposed supranational currency, Bancor, which would be exchangeable with any national currency. Any national currency could thus be convertible into any other national currency in 2 steps via the stablecoin. Such an arrangement would resemble the cross-border payment system that Ripple currently operates with its XRP cryptocurrency, and is just one of a variety of possible alternatives. There are others. What is the best? What is the best alternative? What is the best currency to put into the ESDR? The Bitcoin bros might say that we need to add Bitcoin to it. The gold bugs would suggest we need to add gold to it. And as we've seen through the Basel III requirements, right, they're restructuring the collateral that has to be held. And they have moved gold to the only other tier 1 asset besides US dollars. Any democratic alternative should allow for private sector solutions. Oh, really? Any democratic alternative should allow for private sector solutions. Multi-currency corridors, for instance, should not rule out the use of regulated private stablecoins or cryptocurrencies, even though such solutions might require additional regulation, as discussed below. So this is put out here once again, Stanford Junior University, the Board of Trustees of the Leland Stanford Junior University, and it's listed here on hoover.org. I'm going to try to find that document because there might be some more to uncover in that. But this is a conversation that we've been having this whole time. Treating XRP as a reserve currency, talking about the SDRs, that what makes up the SDR basket. And these currencies, the problem that we're seeing, obviously the US dollar remains the cleanest shirt in the closet, but the alternatives are starting to present themselves. And what we're seeing from the institutional and smart money, and even the central banks buying a record amount of gold, is that they're doing just that. They're starting to treat gold like the tier 1 asset that it now is. Now, continuing on here, folks, these are the NDAs that I'm talking about. Ashley Prosper shares, once the NDAs expire, Ripple is on every news channel. And Jordan 3-Putt, that's a funny name, Jordan 3-Putt, everyone always forgets about the NDAs too. I wonder who those NDAs are with. In discovery, the parties produced over 1,700 contracts, which are specific agreements by which Ripple transferred XRP to contractual counterparties in a variety of commercial transactions. In his expert report, Schwartz organizes the 1,700 contracts into 4 primary categories. 1. Contracts by which Ripple transferred XRP directly to a counterparty. 2. Contracts by which Ripple's counterparties agreed to sell XRP on behalf of Ripple over trading platforms, i.e. programmatic sales. Judge Torres ruled not an investment contract securities offering. 3. Contracts by which Ripple paid for various counterparty services and XRP provided by Ripple, and that was found not to, right? Miscellaneous contracts that do not fall into the first 3 categories. And what they found is that contracts by which Ripple transferred XRP directly to a counterparty, those were the ones to the institutions, right? Because obviously Ripple wasn't selling directly to retail, they were selling programmatically to exchanges. Those sales were found not to be an investment contract security, but the sales directly to other institutional buyers were found to be investment contracts. And the biggest joke about that is, who is the SEC protecting? The institutional investor? These large money transmitter banks, institutions, maybe even central banks, groups like R3. You need to protect R3 from buying 5 billion XRP at less than 1 penny. Let me know in the comments down below if you would have liked that deal. 5 billion XRP at less than a penny in 2016 with an option to execute over the next 3 years. That might be one of the best deals that was ever secured with Ripple, for all we know. Now, cheers everyone. For those who don't remember, that deal did settle up. They only got 1 billion XRP after R3 and Ripple settled up in court. Now, let's get into it. Folks, digital asset investor went absolutely nuclear on all of the XRP haters, on all the negative spin factor shows that we see. They pop up on a daily basis. They shout the loudest, they spew nonsense, and they try everything that they can. And they even try to shut us down and stop us from calling XRP a reserve currency. It's a crime. And I retweeted DAI earlier today and I said, uh-oh, we better report this gentleman to the thought police. He can't be calling XRP a reserve currency. He might get in trouble by the Twitter bros. And I'll tell you what, folks, this is what I've been talking about as the spotlight shines down on Ripple and XRP, not only here in the United States of America, but worldwide. This is on the German CNBC. And this gentleman right here is named Oliver Michael, and he's the founder at Tokentus Investment AG. They are also a Polysign investor from January 2023. This was shared by Cowboy Crypto, and I'm so glad to see that Cowboy Crypto has made it back on to Twitter. That is fantastic. But not only, as we shared in this morning's live show, not only did he call XRP a world reserve bridge currency, he also is exposing ETHgate, including Steven Narioff, our good friend Steven Narioff, the Ethereum whistleblower. What we have right here, here's a little 2-minute clip. I'm not going to play it because it gets lost in translation, okay? But the quote is, JP Morgan hold a large stake in Ethereum in the Ethereum Foundation. And so this guy, he's circling here, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase. You can see it right here, and he's been laying it out. This is on the German version of basically CNBC. And they're going mainstream with this story, folks. Not only is he bullish on XRP, he's also talking about ETHgate. Look at him, he's got Prometheum up there. Quote, we're running into a really hot story here. And look at this. This is what I'm saying. DAI went nuclear today. US journalist, quote unquote journalist, used to cover really hot stories before journalism died in the US, right? And he tags Squawkbox, he tags Andrew Ross Sorkin, he tags Becky Quick, and he tags Joe. Come on, Joe Kernan. He wants to come to the defense of Bitcoin, Joe. Let's talk about this. Have your time in the limelight, just like Charlie Gasparino's been soaking it up, getting to ask Larry Fink about an XRP ETF. Do you understand how freaking excited he was as a journalist to ask Larry Fink if they were thinking about an XRP ETF? You could see the twinkle in his eyes, and he just loves triggering our XRP community. These guys love the attention, and I'll tell you what, this guy right here, Oliver Michael, he's the founder at Tokentus Investment AG. They are a Polysign investor from January 2023. They're the real deal. And they even, I saw in another post, I'll go find it later, on how much XRP they have. Someone went to their website and found how much XRP they have a boatload of XRP. Their average price was 60 cents. So maybe this guy's just trying to pump it back up over 60 cents and trying to get back into profit, right? You know, I think what we heard though from listening to him though is he understands the fundamentals. He understands that this is bigger than just making money off XRP. This is the financial story of the century that the whole world's going to want to talk about. And that's what I'm saying, the momentum behind our community as the spotlight shines down on us and we go viral with not just the truth about XRP, but the truth about defeating the SEC, calling them out for their corruption, and this all ties back to ETHgate as well. The documentary and the mission isn't to bring down Ethereum, but you got to include it. This is why I was saying the documentary is going to resonate with people outside of the XRP community, all of crypto, and then it's going to resonate with people outside of crypto that are fed up with the corruption that we're seeing from our bureaucracy beast government. This is it, folks. The light is at the end of the tunnel on the lawsuit. DeFi utility is coming our way. AMM, right? Cross-chain bridge, interoperability, a seamless experience and interoperability with all other blockchains. Monica Long posted out today that they've been saying it's going to be a multi-chain world. Go put the smart contracts over on Zahao. Go put the smart contracts over on Flare. And when it's time to get paid up, pay me an XRP, baby. Settle up an XRP using the EVM sidechain. Let's get a deal done, and let's not pay $50 in gas fees and have the transaction process in 3 to 5 seconds. Sounds like a good deal to me. And so as we see our ledger remains robust and ready to handle this, and then we got a new whole wave of folks coming into crypto, and then we got what we're talking about, retail investors, right? This is where we will still be in a speculative mania, i.e. why you're seeing memes still cooking. Memes are still cooking because money is still flowing around. We still have a speculative mania that we're in the middle of, okay? And long-term, where's the value going to be at? As I continue to say, the fundamentals take us way past this pump to 60 cents. As I showed you guys at the very beginning of this episode, here's your XRP price chart. It's at 58.3 right now as we're recording. These green candles are fantastic, up towards 60 cents. Sure feels a hell of a lot better than 50 cents. But once again, where do the fundamentals take us? To $6? Do we got a 10x waiting here? You know, because for me, when I keep it conservative and I just talk about a 10x, for me, that in and of itself is a tremendous opportunity. You know, if you're not waiting for XRP to go to 589, but you want to just trade your XRP and you're going to sell it all off at $5 and $6, and you're going to make a 10x and set off into the sunset, God bless you. God bless you. A 10x is fantastic, even in this inflationary market, right? Where real inflation's hell of a lot hotter than 3%. A 10x is nothing to complain about. This is conservative. Where do the fundamentals really take us? And this is why it's so important for us to keep applying pressure. Our community has so much momentum behind us. Let's keep up this fight. Let's keep pushing, and let's do some Q&A. You guys already know the deal. Everything can be found at my website, zachrector.com. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. You already know it's community resources. We have our exclusive community. That's our deal. Other than that, on a daily basis here, we got the best content for you. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video and that you have subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss on days like today where I went live 8 o'clock in the morning, West Coast, and then here we are live in the evening. And so we've just done 2 lives today, and we got more content dropping for you guys tomorrow. So make sure you're plugged in. We got YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok are the places where we're dropping it on a daily basis for you. Q&A, let's rock and roll. God bless everyone who tuned in here. Appreciate you guys so much for stopping by. Let's hang out for a little bit. We were able to get through the show in 42 minutes. Guess what? We got about 17 minutes to do some Q&A. What do you say? Let's get into it deep. Let's get into the fun stuff. What are we working with, guys? God bless you. Yep. Oh my gosh. How is that possible? That was playing sound from the Texas deal the whole time? That's why I was checking the comments, because I saw some weird comments. I was like, what are these guys talking about in the chat? Plain sounds like we're all, oh my gosh. That's so embarrassing. You know, that's just, God, stuff like that just drives me insane. That's crazy, man. I don't even know why. Oh, it's like, it's because it's turned down. That's why my volume was turned down. That's why I didn't hear it. So I was like, what are these guys talking about in the chat? Does that sound a little bit better? Gosh darn it. Laid out that fire episode in 40 minutes, on point, in the airplane. I'm going to blame X on that one. Appreciate you guys. Shannon, that's awesome. Well, that's how I would sound if we were on the airplane together. After XRP moons and we're rolling around taking our trips. I'm gonna be flying to you guys though. I'm gonna be flying to your yacht party, to your island. What about the California lawsuit? Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. I think it's a hot load of BS. You know, it's a hot load of BS. They're not going to get anything with it. Shame on anybody that signs on to it. Shame on the dude that filed it. It's completely BS. I like the ambiance. I saw somebody was like, it's like the time when you were on mute for 15 minutes. I've done that a couple times. All right. What else are we working with, guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Like I said, I got a real estate update that's dropping. I got a lot more data too. We got a lot more where that came from. Like I said, real estate update gonna drop. We got a massive interview that's gonna take place tomorrow. That one's gonna air tomorrow night. Dying to go to Vegas. Vegas is gonna be so fun. Yep. 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 I actually thought it was the rockets boosting. There you go. It was the rockets loading up. I've never had that one happen before where I didn't hear it. That's interesting. I've muted myself a few times, but playing something that I didn't know was playing, that's a new one for me. New achievement unlocked. Tony Huggins, thank you for the 10 spot, brother. Notice the XRP XDC didn't participate in the crypto pump today. Increased my holdings a tad. Yeah. 100%. XDC's been lagging, hasn't it? Yeah, what is it down to 4 cents here? Wow, XDC's gone down. That's interesting. Did get a little action up here, almost up to 5 cents, but yeah, it's been moving down, hasn't it? Let's take a look. I actually haven't taken a look at Flare today. Wow, Flare's still doing its thing, trying to hold this 5 cent level. Right now it's at 4.8, right below 5 cents. Strong cold. Holding the 8 cent. No, that's not even 8 cent. That's an eighth of a cent. Yep, that's less than 1 cent on Stronghold. The Say token's interesting. I took profits, already traded out of it. 87 cents is where it's at right now. Bitcoin, 57,500. Like I said, though, the stock market was back down today. Crypto was really all that went up. Everything else was back down. Tony, yeah, for me, I need to do an XDC deep dive, don't I? We need to talk about XDC again. We need to check where we're at on the fundamentals on that one. We got to, yeah. And I'd like to verify some more partnerships on XDC as well, too. That's another one. I'd like to see more partnerships out of that one. You guys know me. Even projects that I like and I'm invested in, I'm still willing to deep dive and ask the questions that need to be asked, right? So we'll do another XDC deep dive for you guys. Thank you, Tony, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Where can you get Stronghold? You can get it on the Lobster wallet, and then you can also get it on Bitrue, maybe. Guys, comment in the chat where you can get Stronghold at. I know you can get it on Lobster. There's a couple others too, I think. For real estate interviews, you should bring in Danielle DiMartino Booth. Yeah, I actually am planning on getting her. Yeah, we're gonna get Danielle. Absolutely. I got a couple that are lined up that I'm excited to share with you guys. You guys are gonna, yeah, some good ones. Some big hitters are coming through. Bitrue and Lobster. Thank you, Nicole. Yep. Bit true. Yep. Bit true doesn't like me, doesn't like where I live. Sucks. Nobody likes my state or where I live. I don't like my state or where I live, as a matter of fact. What else are we working with, guys? They added DEX to a Coinbase wallet. What did they? Yeah, I haven't looked into that too much on what they added there to Coinbase wallet. I did see that though. They're adding more for trading, for utilizing the DEXs. What is it? Just an interface to use Uniswap, trade some ERC20 crap around. No, that's good. That's a step in the right direction. All jokes aside, yeah, that's really good. And this is what I'm expecting for the XRP ledger too, guys, where, you'll be able to just hit earn 5% on my XRP, and then, the exchange, whichever one it may be, is going to find you yield, right? It's going to spread you out in different liquidity pools. Maybe it'll give you the option. You can pick which liquidity pool you want to be in, and then it's going to give you the real-time, kind of readings on the fees. It's the step forward. Basically, the centralized exchanges, what they have as an advantage is custodying your crypto. For those that don't want to self-custody, that's where the exchanges really come in, is they're easy and they can create easy interfaces. The interfaces for these DEX, I think that we have a fantastic one with Zaman, but you still need on-ramps. And we're limited on on-ramps right now, where you can link a debit card, credit card, PayPal, whatever you want with many of these different exchanges, bank accounts, obviously, and you can really move money around and kind of get onboarded into crypto. So the exchanges have that advantage, but if they want to stay around, they need to offer the ability, the interfaces for these DEXs as well. And I'm talking about the XRP ledger. I'm talking about Uniswap. I'm assuming that's exactly what Coinbase wallet just launched. They need to offer that if they want to be able to stay around, right? I mean, they still will have a role because some people don't want to self-custody, but the ability for folks to utilize the XRPL, to utilize Uniswap, to utilize these DeFi, this is what people want to take advantage of right now. You're seeing so much growth in DeFi during the last bull run, and a whole lot more is coming, because the respectable offers and issuers are going to start showing up. We've had a few respectable and legitimate issuers show up. Take, for example, I think that Circle has done a good job with USDC. They're trying to do things the right way. Obviously, they've struggled here in the last year compared to Tether. Tether, taking a large portion of the market cap, while Circle has kind of struggled. But I think in the long run, they're slated to do really well. And so that's an example of a legitimate issuer that I'm now waiting to see come to the XRPL. This is where we get legitimate issuers of stablecoins, currencies, real world assets, tokenization of everything by issuers that we can trust, not just Joe Blow meme coin. Am I still bullish on XRP? You must be new here. Welcome. We are the most bullish on XRP. Absolutely. And way more bullish than what we saw today in the charts going to just 60 cents. Way more bullish than that. Moved to Georgia where me and DAI live. The East, I haven't been out East, to be honest. I've made it pretty far out East, but only to the Midwest. Gone to Wisconsin, Missouri, as they say down there, Missouri, Texas, and that's about as far east as I've gone. I've done all of the west side of America. But yeah, I haven't made it out past the Midwest. I've gone to Illinois as well. Chicago. I did go to Chicago. And I got to eat in the booth where Al Capone ate at. I thought that was really cool. I still like the old mobster movies, Godfather, stuff like that. I love that stuff back in the day. So yeah, that was a cool experience. But Chicago, another one of those cities here in the United States of America. Stay safe out there. How does XRP hit $10? I don't know what the math is right now on you know, getting to that market cap, but I think that what we're looking at right now is a lot of value getting put on chain, stored on chain, and then a lot of value that's going to start settling on chain. And so the growth of those two is how we achieve these higher prices. That's the simple answer, right? Obviously, Ripple's probably moving the needle the most, but there's a whole ecosystem here of people that are building on top of the XRPL. They're going to be storing value on the XRP ledger. They're going to be holding XRP. That's another big part of it, is the flywheel effect gets cooking for XRP as far as people treating it as a reserve and just holding on to it. And that increases when we get the AMM. That's what I've been saying. With Flare, Flare's a perfect example. You can delegate your Flare and earn a reward and get the drops. And so everybody's holding their Flare. 9 out of 10 people are still bullish on Flare and they're still holding Flare. And so Flare's holding actually pretty well at the current prices. And a lot of people think that it can do a lot more. This is what moves a coin higher, right? And this is what's coming to the XRPL and to XRP, the native token for that ledger. The gas token that's now going to be used on the EVM sidechain. Talk about utility. That's absolutely massive. And I can't wait to pull the clips here from David Schwartz speaking at the XRP Ledger Zone at ETH Denver. That's another big one. And then obviously we already have Brad Garlinghouse lined up. He's going to be going to Paris and he's going to be going to London. Just traveling around the world, spreading the message about the XRPL and Ripple's business. It's fantastic. Yep, Stellar Network, let's talk about it. Stellar Network Protocol 20 smart contracts and tokenization is going to be the people's rail to finally reclaim, redistribute the multi-quadrillions value of net world assets. XRP, yeah, Andrew, good points. Stellar did go live with smart contracts, and they've already moved from phase 0 to phase 1, where they're starting to deploy contracts now on mainnet. So they were playing with it, testing with it in phase 0. And obviously they found a bug, so it got pushed back a month. It was supposed to go live in January 20th, went live February 20th, and now we're seeing that smart contracts are now getting pushed onto the ledger. The way that I like how they're doing it is they're doing a phased-in approach where they're not going to allow the smart contracts to bog down the ledger. They're going to make sure that only a portion of the ledger's transactions are dedicated to Sorabon smart contracts. I think it's a smart approach for a ledger that you want to remain robust. Just like the XRP ledger, settling in seconds at no cost, just consistently. So you don't want to disrupt that. So the phased-in approach on smart contracts, I think, is smart. And it's going to be very interesting to watch because Stellar already had an AMM as well. You have to understand, XLM is a fork of the XRPL, and they've done a few things now to make it different. Clawbacks were already enabled. AMM has already been live. And if you look at the AMM on Stellar, there's not that much liquidity that's actually really moving over there. That's why it hasn't had a large impact on price. We haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen really Stellar kind of move large amounts of volume onto the AMM or through the AMM, right? So that's what's interesting is that what with Ripple, they're starting to move their on-demand liquidity onto the XRPL DEX. And then we anticipate that that's going to really ramp up and pick up and that they're going to go park. I expect them to park a significant amount of XRP and potentially other assets as well in those liquidity pools. And I firmly believe that we're going to see some of the tightest liquidity pairs between these different currencies and assets on the XRPL. I think that the best pair for XRP Bitcoin is going to be on the XRPL. And the way that this is set to work and that Ripple is using AI too, to plug into these AMMs as well and these different order books and creating liquidity essentially, is they're creating as tight of a spread as possible. And they're using AI now to advance that. And what I love right now about the XRPL is that we're letting other people break their ledgers with, all these different, utilities and bridges and stuff. And we're slowly adding ours to a way that I think it sucks because we're kind of late, but we're doing it right and we're not breaking our ledger. And it's going to be sustainable. It's going to have real infrastructure there. And then I think that the caliber that's looking at the XRP ledger is a little bit more serious than what's been playing around on these layer 2s on Ethereum. Right. So, yeah, it's our time to shine over the next 2 years, right? This bull run is going to be massive, guys. You're already seeing the excitement come in as we've already pumped up significantly. We'll see how much more life that we have left in this pump. I want to say huge thank you and shout out to everyone here in the community tonight. We have reached the hour-long marker. Can you suggest any other influencers like yourself to follow so that we can learn more? Casey, well, that's funny. I don't listen to any other crypto influencers right now. I only listen to basically real estate experts and economists and just yeah, that's about it. And then I listen to my mentor Dan Pena as well. You know, obviously some of my favorites would be Peter Schiff, Jim Rickards on the economist front. For real estate, I like Travis. He's an XRP holder as well. Real estate ninja, economic ninja. I think he's fun. I like his style going live, you know, kind of like I do, just out and about in the truck or, you know, out somewhere and about. I like his style. And then who else in real estate? Nick Gurley with Reventure Consulting. I listened to about all of his content, and he's one of the best. And yeah, those are like the main YouTubers that I watch. Other than I kind of just listen to Dan Pena on repeat like I have a problem. So yeah, that's kind of what I listen to on YouTube. Oh yeah, huge shout out to Mickle. Huge shout out to Lewis. Yep. Love all them. And everybody adds their own value, right? That's what's important. Our community is so strong, guys. To me, it's not about ego, who's the best, who's got the most, no, together we're unstoppable, and together we're going to change the world. We got one of our community members running for Senate right now to dethrone Elizabeth Warren. You think I care? Who's got more subscribers? Dude, who gives a crap? Let's go save this country, right? I humbly stand behind John Deaton and the rest. I saw that Jeremy Hogan actually went live on Crypto Law TV or something like that, I think today. That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to go back and watch that one. I do. When it comes to crypto stuff, I will listen to John Deaton and Jeremy Hogan, the lawyers. Absolutely. Yep. All right, guys. More content coming tomorrow. An interview that you won't want to miss. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate everyone for stopping by today. More content coming tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that I don't have background noise like we're on the airplane playing tomorrow for the interview. We'll make sure that we get a sound check in before we drop that one on you. That's going to be dropping tomorrow evening. More content will be coming tomorrow morning. I appreciate all the love and support, and everything can be found at my website, zachrector.com. God bless you all. Thank you so much.